Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about the future of the Jurassic Park franchise and what they could do in order to stay fresh and keep audiences on their toes as far as newer movies go. We all know that they want to keep making these things as long as they keep making money, and one franchise that has recently seen a ton of success as far as critical reception and hype is concerned anyways, happens to be Prey, and they changed things up drastically from like some of the previous Predator movies, and they're reaping what they've sown. The fifth film in the Predator franchise is one that I think Jurassic might just be able to take a lot of inspiration from. Now before I go any further, I want to mention to you guys that today's video is sponsored by ZBiotics, a healthy drink that is designed for responsible adults who want to have a more productive day after enjoying drinks. ZBiotics is a probiotic drink that helps break down the byproduct of alcohol, which is most responsible for rough mornings after drinking. What you do is drink the bottle before your first drink of alcohol, which by the way you should always do responsibly, then just get a good night's sleep. After that, ZBiotics helps you feel refreshed and ready to make the most of your day when you wake up in the morning. So before making this out, I actually tried this stuff out for the first time, and I think it's a good product. I don't recommend people really drink heavily often, and this isn't exactly made for that, but for what it's designed to do, which is cutting down on the acetaldehyde from alcohol, it's great. When you drink, a toxic byproduct of alcohol builds up in your unprepared gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration itself, that causes you to feel terrible the day after drinking. So ZBiotics produces an enzyme like the one in your liver to break down that byproduct. This is real science that works, no random plant extracts or off-the-shelf ingredients. Now, you can get 15% off your first order of ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic by clicking the link in the description box and using my code Clayton at the checkout. Just go to zbiotics.com/Clayton and get 15% off your first order. Once again, thank you to ZBiotics for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to Jurassic Park. So one of the reasons I wanted to make this video is because, I have a second channel, Dragon Curve, where I talk about movies that aren't Jurassic Park, and Prey is one that a lot of people, myself included, are really, really interested in. And Predator and Jurassic Park, they're not exactly similar, but they are science fiction movies. They lean into more horror elements. They've got a lot of action, and I do think there are similarities as far as sensibilities go with kills, atmospheric tension, and just overall, just similarities in general. Arnold Schwarzenegger, believe it or not, is actually tied to the Jurassic Park series in a very big way through multiple entries in the series as far as actors that have worked with it and, worked on the movies behind the scenes. I'll talk about that probably in the future someday. But anyways, the reception of the Jurassic Park franchise and the Predator franchise is actually kind of comparable. The first Jurassic Park movie, everybody pretty much loves. Same thing with Predator. Predator 2 pretty much is the Lost World Jurassic Park of that franchise. They're both really mixed, although I'd say Predator 2 is leaning more towards negative. Then you get to Predators, which is the third one. Definitely received better than Jurassic Park 3, but then you've got The Predator, which just wasn't really well received at all. Now, Jurassic Park, I will say this, they make way more money than the Predator series ever did, and Jurassic World is deemed as, probably the best sequel to Jurassic Park as far as critics, box office, IMDb score, whatever you want to call it. They say that one is like the best sequel. So we know that they've made a comeback. They've course corrected before after a long period of time and waiting, and I think Jurassic could possibly course correct or just switch things up again by just going in a different direction, and Prey is one that I think really makes a lot of sense to me because that movie basically took what was wrong with The Predator from 2018 and just got rid of all the stuff people complained about and did a stripped down, back to basics film that is apparently really, really good. Now, granted, I know I'm making this video having not seen Prey, but a lot of this stuff is surrounding hype. People are really interested to see this movie. Critics have seen it. They love it. They say it's possibly better than the first Predator, which is shocking to me, but I'll make my own opinions on that when I see the movie. I think bottom line, people are just really interested to see that, and that says a lot in and of itself because the fourth film was not received well at all, and a lot of people kind of tapped out after that. Now, Jurassic is in no way anywhere close to being, at the pits of where The Predator took that franchise. They still make pretty good money, and people are still really interested, but I think you can't deny the hype, the support, and the success of Prey's movie reviews and the fan reception and attention that it's getting. Before it even comes out, people are hyped to see that movie after the last one really let people down. Like I said, Jurassic World Dominion's nowhere near the level of, that where we were with the Predator in 2018, but it's always cool to change things up. And I think right now we had the Jurassic Park trilogy, we changed things up after that, we had the Jurassic World trilogy, maybe we should change things up again. And I think it's a good way to keep the audience on their toes, as well as giving people what they didn't know they want, while just going back to basics, stripping down the bare element essentials of what a Jurassic film can be, and delivering what Prey did. So my opinion is that Prey is obviously a smaller scale Predator movie that is basically taking things away from the big budget Hollywood blockbuster setting and doing a very simplistic story. Jurassic could really benefit from that, especially right now. We've gone as big as we could possibly go. Dinosaurs are all over the planet now. We've had multiple box office juggernauts that are just setting records and, doing all kinds of crazy things. And I think you could really get people's attention by just doing something grounded in the redwoods or a jungle or some sort of secluded environment, with the focus being taken away from action and adventure and more towards thrills and suspense. This is something that I know personally resonates a lot with me, and I think would resonate a lot with other people as well, because you would actually put the threat back on the dinosaurs in some sort of different way that we haven't really seen in a while if it's done right. And I think a smaller scale Jurassic movie really could bring in a new audience, maybe an audience that resonated more with The Lost World or Jurassic Park 1, maybe even Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which personally, big fan of that movie. I was not really served very well in Dominion, and I think that fans of Roland Tembo, Robert Muldoon, velociraptors that yank you under the tall grass, T-Rexes that rip you out of waterfalls, and stuff like that would love a Jurassic movie in the style of Prey. And I think this is because Prey ironically speaks to the sensibilities of classic Jurassic Park in a way that I think is really, really cool. And it not only speaks to those sensibilities, but it also obviously does to the original Predator from 1987. So what I'm saying here, boiling everything down to a very basic level, you don't have to spend a lot of money on a movie like this for Jurassic. I don't know what Prey's budget was, but imagine if you, instead of spending $150, $185, $200 million on a Jurassic World movie, you scale it back to 100, maybe even 80 million, maybe even lower than that. Get a cast. I would love to see Chris Pratt come back. I'd love to see Bryce Dallas Howard direct. I would just love something switched up and done in a very cool, different direction that brings it back to a basic level of sensibilities, because we're already seeing a comparable science fiction franchise that has been, it was, dude, Predator had to go to movie jail for a while. They're not even going to theaters with this thing, but you can already see their hard work is paying off in droves by people really loving the film. Take inspiration for something like that, or A Quiet Place, or, I've been saying for a long time, Matt Reeves' Planet of the Apes films that came out recently. There are ways that you can switch things up and do more movies, even set after Jurassic World Dominion, that I think would be really, really cool for audience to see. Now, whether or not this could happen, it all depends on what the fans want and what people say is interesting. Personally, I think this is a really cool idea. I really think Prey, even if Prey is somehow bad, the idea of Prey, which I don't think it'll be a bad movie, but the idea of a very back to basics, simple Predator movie is getting a lot of people talking. And I can tell you right now, if it was in theaters, it would definitely make more money than the Predator. And it would be more profitable because it looks like it costs way less. So Jurassic, I personally think should take notes from that. And as a fan of this franchise forever, as someone that's read the books, gone through all the behind the scenes material in the movies, and just been a huge fan of everything to do with this stuff, I'd love it. I'd love to see this kind of direction for the franchise, and I think we do need a sequel like this to continue doing something cool in the future, or at least switch it up on audiences. But hey guys, I don't want you to think that my opinion is set in stone or even like gospel. It's just my opinion. It's just me. This is just my thoughts and what I think about the film franchise, Hollywood in general, as well as Jurassic and Predator. Now, whatever your opinions and thoughts on all of this stuff has to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. And if you disagree, I wonder what you think we need for a Jurassic sequel, because right now it seems they can go anywhere. They want to make more, but I really do want to hear what other people say. So whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be on this subject matter, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens and InGen executives, as well as all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. You've all helped my channel immensely, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of that support. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you all consider subscribing. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.